Oh, didn't see you there. Welcome back to Phil and Watches. I'm Phil, and this is the watch. Hey friends, welcome back to Phil and Watches. I'm Phil, and today we're going to talk about the Black Bay 41. Before owning this watch, I had a lot of questions, like how is the build quality? Should I buy this watch? How does it compare to a Rolex? Why does it feel so cool? So in this video, I'm going to answer all your lovely questions, and before I do that, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Thanks, man. So, unlike me, the Black Bay 41 is a watch that does not get much love. It's a simple two-hander that gets the job done. It's not praised by the watch community because the 36 seems to fit on most people's wrists better. And if you want a bigger watch, you usually go with the Black Bay Heritage line with the 58. However, this Black Bay 41 I think have its own charm. Much like me, it oozes masculinity and class. So here are the specs of the watch. This watch has a 41mm case, sapphire crystal with AR coating, automatic movement ETA 2824, and a stainless steel bracelet and case. So the movement for this watch is the ETA 2824. It is reliable and also cost certified. So I quite like this movement because it's potato chip thin. It puts the watch around 11mm. A lot of haters would say, oh no, this is not in-house movement. But, you know, that's the point of Tudor. They want to make cheaper watches with movements that are serviceable. So, you have nothing to complain about. The value of Tudor, I think, doesn't lie in the movement, but more in the finishing department. At the end of the day, this is still cost certified and reliable. Winding and adjusting the watch feels very good. There's no grinding whatsoever, and the bigger crown makes it easier to access. I think this ETA movement is also heavily modified, so it's very different from other watches from different brands that use the same movement. Alright, so this dial is on point. Because it's a very simple dial, it's very legible and easy to tell the time. There are periods, minus signs, Illuminati triangles, and it adds some fun and also history to the watch. The black dial is sporty and rich and brings out the shininess of the indices. I also like the text, right? Especially the smiley. It gives me the giggles. And the hands are your classic Tudor snowflake hands. It fills up the negative space in the dial. I personally dig this. And the hour hands are thick and easy to tell the time. The minute hand extends all the way to China, and is something that I always liked. There's also a small diamond on the second hand, which makes it very easy to find, and I like that in most watches. The hands are also very big, although some people are turned off by that. But you know what they say about bigger hands, you know, bigger wrists. And so now we're going to talk about the wearability. So how a watch wears really depends on the case. This case is 41mm, and lug width is 22, thickness is 11, and the lug to lug is 50mm. Because of the lug to lug, this watch is kind of big for a smaller wrist. I have a 6.5 inch, well less than 6.5 inch chopstick wrist, and it wears kind of a little bigger than I would like. The size is even bigger than my OP39, and it does take some getting used to. It's not huge like my Grail Invicta, you know, this one right here. I feel like the crown is very interesting because it has a rose logo, which is more on a lot of vintage Tudors. Yet they add the modern shield logo at the 12 o'clock. So it's cool, you get the vintage and the modern all in one package. I don't really like the 22mm lug width because I mainly get, 20mm straps. But if you're a bracelet guy, that shouldn't bother you at all. I think the case is nice, right? This case is nice. You have very nice brush surfaces on the lugs, and the sides are very shiny, like a ball man's head. The slanted bezel is beautifully polished, and it creates a nice contrast with the black dial. It reminds me of the Explorer 1 because of the design. The bezel does scratch pretty easily, but you could easily also, polish it back up with some Cape Cod or some other things used to polish things with. If you want a video on that, let me know. I'll gladly try to help. Alright, so the bracelet and clasp is pretty good. I think Tudor bracelets are always one of the best at its price points. The brush finish is very detailed and fine. The polish on the sides are also very good. And the fit, I have to say, is very nice even though the watch is bigger than I usually wear. I think it's important to try out different watches. That are bigger or smaller than your usual, right? You get another sense of perspective. Plus, you could get bullied when you post pictures to Reddit Watch Circle Jerk. Alright, so let's talk about the price a little bit. So on leather, this would cost you 2.6k, and on bracelet it's about 3k. So it's between Monta, Longines, and your Rolexes and Omegas, right? So I think it's justified because the movement, the way it functions, and the feel is better than Monta or Longines. But the finishing and other aspects is not quite up to par Rolex or Omega. I think this fits nicely in the middle. It's justified. Well, let's talk about the goods and bad about this watch. The goods, well, I love it for its simplicity. It's a watch that you could grab and go. Don't worry, don't have to worry about it too much, and you can fit all situations. It's nicely finished with a luxury feel, so you know you're getting a very valuable timepiece, yet is kind of modern. The bad, however, is a big boy. And if you have less than a 6.5-inch wrist, you should first consider the Black Bay 36. The dial, I feel like on the 36 is more compacted and attractive. The bracelet, doesn't have quick adjust and could sometimes be hard to fit. I do have a tip though. With Tudor or Rolex bracelets, you could kind of switch it around so it fits better in my case almost 99% of the time. And there's also a half link that is kind of attached to the end of the bracelets that you could remove or add. I think that will help you as well. So who is this watch for? I think it fits most people because it's so versatile. So if you just like Tudor as a brand and you want a really refined yet quality piece, you should consider this one. I would personally pick this over the new Tudor Royal in a heartbeat. So the question for this week is, how do you feel about the current Tudor lineup? In my opinion, it's just full of black bays. The Black Bay 58 is the best, and they're coming out with, different black bays in different colors. I think that it might be a little too boring for me. I love the North Flag or the Advisor. I think it's a super cool alarm watch. So I feel like their current lineup is a little bit boring. I would like to see some more interesting offerings from them. Alright, so thanks for watching once again. And next week, we will talk about a Monta watch probably, maybe. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, man. Do it now. You're still not doing it. Alright, thanks, everybody.